carrying this like a heaviness in their body, and it becomes a sense of suffering for them. So my name is Prudence Todd, and I want to talk to you today about how your womanhood experience matters, and that through actually acknowledging these experiences and connecting to them, we can actually source a sense of wisdom from these experiences and shift from pain and suffering into pleasure. But before I get started, I would love to ask you, beautiful women, some questions. So who here in the room is a mum? Yes, I see some hands. This is good. And how many of you have felt the burden of the journey, either physically or emotionally, in your body of motherhood as being a woman? Yeah, awesome. I've got some people who relate here. This is good. And what if I could tell you that, by learning to care for these experiences in our body as a woman, you could unlock a wisdom and a medicine that helps you heal as a woman. What would this change for you? Just have a little think about that. The reason I'm asking you these questions is that I've been through a lot of traumas in my life, and I've carried a lot of oppression, and I've learned how to heal this time and time again as a woman and a mother. And I'd love to share with you some of how that's impacted me and what I've done to heal that, so that you can learn some of these techniques as well for yourself. So as a wife of an incredible man of 26 years, we've been through our own stuff, believe me, and a mum to 2 adult children and 2 teenage children, I have experienced and healed twice through debilitating depression. I've been through devastating loss and healed crippling anxiety. And so I understand the experience of carrying suffering in our bodies. And one of the things that I've learned is that suffering that's not cared for rests in our bodies as pain, but suffering that is cared for can be transmuted into wisdom and medicine for us in our lives. So moving from this place in my life where I was so debilitated by the suffering and the heaviness of my experiences as a woman and a mother, and moving into peacefulness and joy and flourishing, it has actually been one of the most challenging and celebrated experiences of my life as a woman. So I want to talk to you about how these traumatic experiences impact us as women. During my young motherhood years, when I experienced depression for the first time, that also led to a loss of a career. I lost my career as a midwife. I lost a sense of who I am. I lost my love and respect for myself. I didn't know who I was as a woman and a mother anymore. And I also started to lose my relationships. I started to push away during that time of depression the people that I loved most in my life. The people that I'd actually wanted to bring into the world, I was really feeling like I was pushing them away from me. So I want to talk about depression, and maybe it's not depression for you, maybe it's something else. But if we look at depression in women in Australia right now, 1 in 6 women experience depression in their lifetime, and 1 in 7 to 10 women will experience depression during their postnatal years after giving birth to a baby. And if we look at the National Centre for Health Statistics last year, they actually said that women are actually twice more likely to experience depression than men. And 1 in 3 women will experience anxiety during their lifetime. So I really fit the bill when it comes to all of those things, because I experienced it all, and learning how to heal these things in my life also led to me incorporating this into my work. And into my work, I saw how women carry this in their bodies, in their pelvic health as women. And I started to notice that when we actually looked into pelvic health and how we carry these experiences in our bodies, women started to release emotion. They started to unlock these experiences. And I don't know about you, but how many women have you spoken to that just have experienced things in their life as a mother? Perhaps it's loss or grief or some kind of trauma, that they just haven't been able to find a place that they can really transmute that and experience a sense of pleasure and connectedness to themselves around that experience, and it starts to impact their life. The painful cost of living this way is that some of us miss the most magical times of our life. just surviving and just coping and just taking care of our little ones and never truly feeling alive and joyful. There's so much of my life that I remember when my husband talks about things that I just can't remember those parts of my life. It's either because I was in a deep, dark fog of depression, or I was so worried and concerned about being in control so that I could cope with anxiety that I just missed being present in the moment. And if you're in this place as a woman, I see you. I understand what it's like to be in that place. But I also want you to know that your body is calling out for a revolution. It's calling you to take notice and to start caring for these experiences that you've been through. And the cost of not is that they start to show up as symptoms in our body as a woman. And that's what I see time and time again in my work with women now. Perhaps, like I said, it's not depression for you. Perhaps it's brain fog or a sense of numbness or just existing, feeling sad or tired all the time. One of the most important steps for you in moving into healing is understanding that your story and your experience as a woman are valid. They're real. You can't compare them to anybody else and make them smaller because they're what's real for you. And it's your story. And you can learn to carry this in life so it doesn't feel like a heaviness and a pain and a suffering. And you can start to glean the wisdom and the medicine from these experiences. That's not just a generalized thing that I teach you, but you can learn what's unique to you. What would that be like if you could discover something that's unique to you, that's your own medicine in your body? So when we start to see that the deepest, darkest experiences of our life are in essence our medicine, we also begin to open our hearts to the possibility that there's healing in our life story. What if I told you you could gently speak to yourself and begin to reconnect with these hurting parts of yourself and unleash that wisdom and that medicine that's resting there for you? Let's just do a little quick exercise. I want you to close your eyes and place your hands on your heart. Just take a deep breath. As you take this deep breath, just allow yourself to be seen. I find it helpful to use the words, perhaps, I'm here and I care, and allow your body to be fully present to your voice. Feel your heart soften. This is just the beginning of healing through compassionate presence in your body. How do we feel towards ourselves as women based on the experiences we've been through? Do we feel ashamed? Is there sorrow? Do we feel broken? What are the cues that we can start to tap into? And just slowly coming back to the room now, I want you to know that your life experience is wanting you to see her. She's wanting to be held, she's wanting to be cared, and you don't need anybody else outside of you, no other external resource. I can guide you through this back to you. And these can be tools that you can use for the rest of your life and help you bypass things that can then become ongoing issues in your body. Your life experience matters. Your journey as a woman matters. And you can heal the pain that you feel and experience pleasure in your life. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Prudence.
Prudence, what do you do with people? Well, I see people online and one-on-one, and after I lost my midwifery registration, I became a restorative Pilates instructor. I started to see how women carry emotions in their pelvic floor, in their pelvis. Then I started to look at doing internal work with women's bodies. I've learned a lot through that of how women hold pain in their bodies through loss and through grief. And I just have now created programs and still see people one-on-one to just transmute those experiences into medicine for themselves, because we need that medicine for all the other transitions and phases of womanhood that are still to come. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Just
amazing.
to be able to do it without all my notes.